we showed up in Laramie, Wyoming, and it was like, let's say that the club was at like 145 Main Street. We get there and it's like, okay, here's 143 Main Street. Here's a big vacant lot. And here's 147 Main Street.
Oh, God.
The club was gone. Not like they didn't do shows at that place anymore. The building was removed.
Take a better scene. It's what we're doing. Come and check it out. It's what we're all about. 561 Music.
Welcome to 561 Music. We're live at Propaganda right now. So it's basically just a little bit of a remote one because we heard that Brendan Kelly was playing down here.
Hi, I'm Brendan Kelly. I'm playing down here.
And he's an awesome musician and a punk rocker, so, you know, a man of respect. So we just couldn't miss the opportunity to have a little chat with him. So, how many days are you doing a tour right now, or are you just down here for Fest?
This is not a tour. I've been doing a lot of shit just weekend here. Like I just went and did where I went out to the Northwest in Vegas.
Yeah.
I did some tour guiding at the Punk Museum.
Yeah, my friend Matt works there. I used to be in a band with a guy who works. They book some of the shows. Has a mohawk and stuff. I'm sure there's more than one person with a mohawk in there.
Guy with a mohawk in the museum. Yeah. He's an exhibit, or he's a guy that works there.
He works there.
Okay,
yeah. He was a nice bloke. Yeah. So how did you find the museum? Did you enjoy it?
It was better than my wildest dreams imagined it could have been.
Oh,
because I heard about it and I was like, what's it going to be like a bunch of Pennywise posters and shit? Like,
yeah.
You know, and then it turned out that it was, I mean, there was that, which is important that should be part of the museum.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not trying to talk shit about that, but there was also like the last bag of weed Joe Strummer ever had.
Oh, really?
You know, and like the hotel key to the room that Johnny Thunders died in.
Oh, wow.
Old Minor Threat set list from shows.
That's right. I have an interesting Joe Strummer story. When I was a kid, he recorded my school carol concert, and I played the Pink Panther on the saxophone. And at the end, he came over to me and shook my hand. And he was wearing sunglasses inside in a church. That was one of the weirdest situations ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. In a very real way, that means you're the best punk musician ever, right?
It's all to do with who you've met.
He's impressed with you, and he's the best. That means you're the best.
I mean, I would say so.
Yeah, I mean, congratulations.
Why, thank you.
I've been looking for you for a long time.
So, do you prefer, this is a bit of a stupid question in a way, but do you prefer playing on your own or with a band? Like what kind of touring do you like better?
It's so different. Like, what I like about being in a band, about playing with the band, and what I like about being alone are kind of the exact opposite things.
Right, yeah.
Like with a band, I'm somewhat insulated from if I make a mistake.
Yeah.
It's like, it just goes right by. Nobody even notices.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, the enthusiasm is like just bombastic, and like, you know, people are upside down the whole time, and it's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, the energy is just like, it's chest pounding shit,
for sure.
You know?
Yeah.
And when I'm alone, I like live and die by every single little thing. And I kind of love that too. And I love, but I mean, like the way I play and the way I've like set up, I guess, my career is that if I fuck up, I can just be like, oh, I fucked up. All right. Let's,
yeah,
you know,
that's
like,
cool. Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm not,
you got enough of a rep at this point, but it's not the end of the world.
No one's shocked when I fuck up, for one thing.
I like it as well. I like playing solo as well because of the, for that very reason, it's like all that's standing between you and silence is like you actually playing the music. So it's quite an intense experience.
And I also like, I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
At the drop of a hat. Like,
yeah.
If somebody's like, play Wonderwall, like this happened to me in Vermont. You know, that's what's replacing Freebird now with like the Gen Z kids or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
Wonderwall is the new Freebird. Some kids like, play Wonderwall. And I was like, you want to hear Wonderwall, motherfucker? Here's Wonderwall. I started to play it. Then I segued into another song. I played another song and I put Wonderwall in before the chorus. And I ended up for the last like 6 songs, I played the entire song Wonderwall piece by piece throughout every single song.
Oh, very
That's
good.
something you can't just do in a band because, I mean,
you can, but they're not going to like it.
I think, like, if the Lawrence Arms, because we've been a band for 25 years, all the same members, and we went out on like a 2-month tour. By the second month, we could do shit like that.
Yeah, sure.
Just like, because we, you know, like that.
You're getting synced.
Stage telekinesis or whatever.
Yeah.
But, I don't want to do a 2-month tour anymore. So this is where I get to do stuff like that.
Yeah, I get it. And the Lawrence Arms, legendary band, and you guys have been going for a minute now. It's like, do you, so one thing I wanted to ask you is, from when you started out, like, in the 90s to today, what are some of the things you think, like, you miss about the way the punk scene was, and what are some of the things that you think is better now, if there are any?
I think everything is exactly the same. I really do. The only difference is on a really sketchy level, sketchy promoters were not held accountable back in the day.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's a little bit more accountability. But I can tell you the parts that are gone are like getting into a town, just having a map, like a paper map.
Yeah.
Getting into town, finding a payphone, calling the promoter and getting directions that you write down, you know, to get to the club. And
some of those drives can be completely crazy.
I mean, we showed up in Laramie, Wyoming, and it was like, let's say that the club was at like 145 Main Street. We get there and it's like, okay, here's 143 Main Street. Here's a big vacant lot. And here's 147 Main Street.
Oh, God.
The club was gone. Not like they didn't do shows at that place anymore. The building was removed. And like that, that kind of shit is, you know, the only things that were like kind of, it's all technology. I mean, there's nothing about the ethos or like, anything like that that's any different. Like some people are into it, some people aren't. Some people are like, you know, private equity firm, punk rockers, and some people are like crass, you know, what I mean? Like, and everything in between. And for the record, I don't think either of those extremes really represents anything I'm terribly into.
Sure.
But like, man, there's this book called One Summer by Bill Bryson.
Okay.
And it's about 1927, the summer of 1927. You're nodding. Have you read this book? You have?
Oh, that's cool.
Were you struck when you read it by how much everything is exactly the fucking same? It's ridiculous. I mean, it's like, you know, people are like, oh, this vapid celebrity worship. And it's like, the Kardashians are famous for, first of all, they're famous for being hot, which people have always been famous for being
100%.
hot. And
that's probably the first reason ever.
There was a fucking riot in Times Square where like 5 people had to be hauled away in an ambulance because motherfuckers were fighting over Charles Lindbergh's rib bones after we ate dinner at a restaurant.
Oh my God.
You know, like they're talking about like political divisiveness during the Sacco and Vanzetti trials. Fucking senators' homes were getting firebombed.
Yeah.
You know, like nothing has changed. The Spanish flu.
Feel that.
It's so.
It's strangely comforting and also kind of depressing that nothing changes.
I think I take a comfort in not having to be concerned that shit's falling, swirling down the drain.
Yeah.
And also it gives me a sense of smug satisfaction when people are like, everything's going to hell. I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah, for real.
You know, everything's there is the first thing like that could be written upon and a utensil to write it with in a language that could be read. The very first thing somebody wrote on that thing was, the world is ending.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And that shit has been, do you really think you're lucky enough that you get to, like, that the fucking roulette ball stops on you?
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking the most arrogant thing I can imagine.
100%.
Okay, sorry, I know you've got shit to talk about, and I'm just
No, not at all. This is perfect. I was just checking that we were actually recording and there wasn't anything going on. Yeah, no, it's, and that's, that's really the fun thing about this podcast and podcasts in general is that you just get to hear two people talking, which is always way more interesting than general bullet points anyway.
Yeah.
Something I was curious about is your style of singing, which is very gruff and kind of like fry-y. Is that something that you have to, like, if you have like a bunch of gigs in a row, do you struggle with that? Or is it like a point now where you can just sing like that the whole time?
That's how my voice is.
Yeah.
Like you can hear it. You can tell.
Yeah, sure.
Like I'm not it's not like an affectation or anything.
Sure, yeah.
So like, and I mean, so many people that sing like me, it is an affectation.
Yeah. It would have to be for me, that's for sure. Yeah.
And like, when I started out, I was impersonating Robbie Takak from the Goo Goo Dolls, who was like an awesome singer. And it worked out for me because like my voice naturally sounds like that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think
the combination as well of both you guys and Lawrence Arms is a really, really nice, like it's like a perfect.
Yeah, it worked out, right?
Smooth and
I don't think we knew if that was going to work out.
Yeah.
But what's funny is that like a quick answer to the question, no. My voice, once it gets going, it'll be good forever.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Me and Chris's voices are so close to identical. It's weird. And I know that sounds bizarre.
Yeah.
But like, we'll be like recording or do harmonies and we will be sitting there and be like, I don't know who's who.
Oh, wow.
I don't know who's doing what.
You think that's just from hanging out so much, or do you think it was always like that?
It's always like that. I mean, we grew up together and we love the same things. We got fired up about the same things. We've been writing songs together since we were maybe not even teenagers.
Yeah.
And like,
that's great.
But like, it's just like the natural timbre of our voices is like very close to identical.
Yeah. And I suppose the accent as well, because, like come from the same area and stuff. So, how old were you when you first started playing shows on the road when you got out of Chicago?
16.
Okay.
My old band Slapstick was a ska punk band.
Yeah. My wife actually wants to know if you played at a certain place. She was like, let me see. So Christy, but she wanted to know if you ever played in Mineola in Long Island at a club called Deja Vu. She thinks it was called that.
Slapstick?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mineola?
Yeah.
It sounds familiar.
Because she was like a young ska kid.
Well, here's the thing. That would have been the tour we did where we toured out and played the Wetlands with Less Than Jake.
Right.
Before either of those bands were... See,
sure.
You probably don't... Slapstick and Less Than Jake were like parallel bands.
Neck and neck. Yeah.
And they've gone on to have a great career.
Yeah.
But
what was the switch like? When you decided to kind of go into more like straight ahead, like punk rock, is it just kind of being done with ska, or was it?
Well, I didn't know what ska was when I joined Slapstick. I was 16.
I gotcha. Yeah.
And we were a 4-piece band and we got horns and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then the world was a lot more like me than like the other 3 guys in the band.
Yeah, sure.
It was like, whoa, this is pretty cool. I never seen but I was a punk singer.
Yeah.
And like, we were all punks. We weren't ska people, really.
Sure, yeah.
And I mean, the ska that we listened to was more like in the vein of this, like
Op Ivy and stuff like that.
Well, we listened to Op Ivy like crazy, but I mean, there were no ska punk bands.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't really what, I mean, it was like, we listened to fucking...
Yeah, because like Against All Authority and stuff like that, that's later, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, Against All Authority, we did our first tour. That tour that, if we did play that show in Mineola, we had played either the night before or the night after in Trenton, New Jersey, with Against All Authority and Bigwig.
Cool.
And then the day after, Wetlands in Manhattan. So No, what's the fucking
So do you think
the goddamn ska? What's the goddamn ska band that's like Scatolites?
Oh, there you go. Scatlights, yeah, that's like the original. I had a manager once who used to manage them too.
That we would listen to. We would listen to like the Scatolites.
Okay, so like proper Jamaican first wave ska.
Yeah, so there was no influence on slapstick. It was like slapstick.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, totally.
So when I got done being in slapstick, I played punk music because that's like
going home kind of thing. Yeah.
Like I wasn't gonna go play like fucking like free jazz with upstrokes.
Yeah, sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Like there just was no. I just had no interest in. We did that. I think as good as I could be a part of it.
Sure. Yeah.
Do, so.
No, it's. I remember that time because I was in a band called Sonic Boom 6. That's like a ska punk band, and they're still going. But I remember that time around 2000 where it's like a lot of ska punk bands were like jumping ship, and I wondered if that was anything related to, but it doesn't sound like that's even related.
No, and I mean like Slapstick broke up in 95, 96.
Yeah,
and I was in another band, Chris from the Lawrence Arms. We had another band called the Broadways in that time period.
Yeah,
and so ska was everyone experiments in college, man. You know, but for me it was just in high school.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough. So you're playing the fest. Is it tomorrow? Is that next?
I play Sunday.
Sunday, gotcha. Is there anyone you're looking forward to seeing up there?
No, I'm just kidding. Well, lots of people. And there's all these Red Scare bands, you know, and like it's funny. People are like, "What are the new bands you listen to?" It's like, I have a record label that signs those bands. You can,
yeah, there you go.
Man, they are, you know. But
that's awesome. You're on Fat Red. How long have you guys been on Fat Red? Right.
Well, we're on Epitaph.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
No, it's all good.
Gotcha.
But yeah, we're on Epitaph. We were on Fat for, I guess, 10 years.
Okay. I don't feel like too much of an idiot.
What's that?
I said I don't feel like too much of an idiot.
No. I mean. It's just our last 2 records came out on Epitaph.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I love Mike. I love the whole Fat family.
Yeah.
It's a great place.
Do they, when you're on a label like that these days, do they organize tours where you all go out, or are you kind of past that point now and you just kind of do your own thing?
They did back then.
Yeah.
But like the Fat Wreck tour, like we were on a Fat Wreck tour in Europe, and they did a lot of Fat tours all over the place.
Yeah.
But at this point, I mean,
yeah,
we just do our tours, you know?
No, that's awesome. So you must have been to Europe because like loads and loads of times. Yeah. Touring in mainland Europe is one of my favorite things to do, especially as like DIY punk band, because there's all the squats you get to play at and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure you've been there and done all that.
Yeah, it's great. It's the best because when you're a smaller band, you don't get shit in America when you play. And over there, the squats, they've got like a budget for hospitality.
Exactly,
yeah. But then when you get to be a popular band, you get whatever you want in the States.
Oh my God.
And then you go to Europe and you still get the same shit.
I see what you're That's really funny.
It's like,
okay, that makes total sense.
I mean, and I'm not trying to talk any shit. It's just funny though, because it used to be like, oh my God, we've got breakfast.
Sure.
We've got like, and there's beer, and this is so cool. And now it's like, would it kill them to give me a bottle of whiskey? Like,
that makes total sense. That's hilarious. So, all right, yeah. I didn't know if we were going to be able to sneak an interview in today because everything was pushing later and later, but it's super nice of you to chat to us. And this is a local music podcast first and foremost, but we'd also interview people like yourself. We had Angelo Moore on last week from Fishbone. That was crazy.
Oh, that's great.
But something I was going to ask you is, for the people who are just up and coming, have you got any advice for like young bands or up and coming bands?
Yeah, I mean, write good songs. They're so fucking underrated as a piece of advice.
Yeah,
like,
I hear that.
It's like, And there is so much time to like figure out like your look and your style and like get your guitar's tone and all that shit. Get an acoustic guitar and write a song. It sounds good on an acoustic guitar. Then you have a good song. You can do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
You know? And if you don't do that, I'm not saying you won't be popular because there's a lot of bands out there like that. But
definitely got more of a head start there.
Well, it's just, I think you've got more of a chance at resonating and being able to still be here 30 years later.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and
because you hear a good song, it doesn't even matter who it's by. You remember it and you're right. You know, it's like the product ultimately is the most important thing. You're right. The art. You know?
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
That being said, also just fucking don't be a dick.
Yeah.
You know, like if you and you have to tour, like you have to get out there and do it.
That's the truth.
And if you get out there and do it and you're not a dick and you have some good songs, people will be nice to you. People will give a shit about you.
Yeah.
And you'll have a rewarding experience.
Yeah, for sure.
And
I think it suits people. It suits people who like people being on the road because you meet a lot of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Which isn't always a lot of musicians are, you know, quite insular and like introverted, but I don't know. If you're a people person, it's pretty fun out there, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, it's just nice if you're nice.
Yeah. Yeah, and even if you're right, it's just me. You just got to be nice. That's it. Like, and look at this. You're doing our podcast. You didn't have to do this. Very nice of you.
I know. And I fucking hate you guys. That's the thing. And it's so cool of me to do this.
Have you ever played here before?
At this bar?
Yeah.
No.
Well, it's great to have you. This is our local kind of, it's like the Lake Worth CBGBs.
Yeah, this is really cool.
Yeah, man.
I like it.
Have you done that much playing down in South Florida before?
I mean, I have, but only because I've been doing it for so long.
Sure, yeah.
In terms of like ratio, not at all.
Gotcha.
But pure number of shows, yes.
Okay, awesome. With your solo stuff too, like this?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. Well, listen, thanks so much. I've been listening to your music all day. It's fucking sick. I do acoustic stuff. It's like one of my favorite people, everyone's favorite person, but I just love Billy Bragg. And every now and again in the guitar playing, I could really sense a bit of that.
Oh, yeah, right
just
on.
the angular, like, you know, it's just cool. And I really like it. And the lyrics, there's some of them are hilarious and some of them are like, you know, really super thoughtful, interesting. So, yeah, I had a great listen. And
Awesome.
I'm going to be a repeat listener, that's for sure. Thanks so much, man.
Hey,
coming
thank
on.
you so much.
Wicked.
Oasis Root Kava Bar is in Sea Grape Square on Indiantown Road. And it is a kava bar. If you don't know anything about kava, it's a Polynesian root that you grind up and you mix with water. And it has been in Polynesia for potentially thousands of years. It's an old thing that they used for kind of ceremonial and also sort of leisure purposes. It's meant to be something where, you know, that brings people together. You all take a shell of kava and chink them together and say bula and have it together like that. It's meant to be something to bring people together. It has a kind of an effect, which is, I guess, a kind of a slightly warming effect. It just kind of makes you feel nice. It's not particularly intoxicating. It's not like drinking alcohol. So the atmosphere in a kava bar is sort of like a cross between a regular bar and a coffee house. It's pretty chill in there. You get all sorts of different types of kava bars. Some of them are more like a club, you know, there's sort of like blacklight and EDM playing. And some of them are more like a cafe. This is one of the cafe type of ones. It's super chill in there. If you're looking for somewhere to, I don't know, maybe go and do some work on your laptop or go and have a chat with friends, it's perfect for that kind of thing. There's a foosball table in there if that's your jam, or baby foot as they call it in France. Yeah, Jim, the owner, is a really cool guy and he has very kindly sponsored our podcast. So thank you very much for that, Jim. They also do a poker night in there, all sorts of things going on at Oasis Root. 561 Music is sponsored by Live Music Community. It's where we film the podcast that you're listening to right now, and it's also where I work. Gavin, Hector's son, was a student here for a long time, and in many ways he's the musician he is today because of the teachers at Live Music Community. We taught him not only about his instrument, but also about being in a band. And his band, Unemployed Youth, accomplished a lot of goals, mostly band etiquette, how to work together, and all of the nitty-gritty that goes into being in a band on a day-to-day basis. The student signs up for lessons, learns their instrument, joins a real band, and decides the direction it goes in. And we can take people from very young age, 6 or 7 years old, all the way up to 80. There's no age limit here. We've run an adult program for people who want to be in a band as adults, but really the main focus is on the kids and getting them playing together and in bands. We are also a studio, a live stream venue. We can record audio or video. The Killbillies live album, Warts and All, was recorded here. It was recorded during a live stream that we did during COVID. Justin had a great idea to record live streams during COVID. A ton of bands came in and it was a real success. Outside of that, we can record albums. We can help you with your EPK, and we have full audio-visual capabilities here. LMC is in Palm Beach Gardens on the northwest corner of Military Trail and North Lake Boulevard. And if you go to livemusiccommunity.com, you have all the information you'll need right there.